Hello, my name is Maria. I'm a lawyer with Legal Aid at Work. We are a nonprofit organization that provides employment legal services to low-wage workers throughout California. This video provides information on the rights of immigrants in the workplace. Above all, it's important to keep in mind that immigrant workers in California, depending on their particular situation, have virtually all the same employment rights as all other workers. First, we'll talk about the hiring process. Many immigrants experience problems before they even get their first paycheck. These problems have to do with proving you can legally work in the U.S. One is document abuse. Any worker in the U.S. must fill out an I-9 form within 3 days of starting a job to verify you're authorized to work. That includes providing proof of your identity and your authorization to work in the U.S. Some employers abuse this process and insist you show them certain types of documents, but the law allows you to choose which documents to present. Another common issue immigrant workers face is re-verification. Sometimes it's okay for an employer to ask you to fill out a new I-9 form after you've already worked there for a while, and in some of these instances they include when an employer is being audited by ICE, when they have clear evidence that you lack work authorization, or when your work authorization documents have expired. The third challenge that a worker, immigrant or not, may face is a no-match letter. The Social Security Administration sends these when the name or Social Security number on your W-4 form doesn't agree with its records. When you have issues with document abuse, re-verification, or no-match letters, it is important to remember that it is illegal for an employer to base any action on a person's ethnicity or national origin. Now, let's move to other common issues in the workplace.
I've heard that some workers can be paid below the minimum wage. Is that true?
No, all workers, including undocumented workers, are entitled to minimum wage and overtime. In fact, undocumented workers have almost the same rights under federal and state law as all other workers. It's just that undocumented workers may not qualify for remedies like back pay or reinstatement in some situations, such as if their right to organize is violated.
But if I get tips, it's okay to pay me less than the minimum wage, right?
No, in California, tips don't count towards minimum wage or overtime. They are your property.
But what if I'm paid in cash? Do I still get overtime?
Yes, for most employees, with some exceptions, as long as you work more than 8 hours in one day or more than 40 hours in a week, you are entitled to overtime pay. That brings me to wage theft. Common forms of this include paying you less than minimum wage, keeping your tips, requiring you to work off the clock, and not paying you overtime or reimbursing you for work expenses like uniforms or mileage.
What about breaks? Some jobs aren't required to give you breaks, right?
No. Employers have to give most workers breaks for meals and rests during which they are completely free of work duties. Meal breaks don't have to be paid, but you're entitled to one 30-minute meal break if you work longer than 5 hours, and you're entitled to 2 if you work longer than 10 hours. In addition, every worker must receive one paid 10-minute rest break and a shift of 3.5 to 6 hours, 2 paid 10-minute breaks if your shifts last 6 to 10 hours, and 3 paid 10-minute breaks for shifts of 10 to 14 hours.
Okay, but how can I exercise my rights?
All workers in the U.S., including undocumented workers, have the right to organize, vote in union elections, and negotiate alongside coworkers for better working conditions. As far as safety goes, all employees are protected the same way. Anyone who suffers an illness or disability related to work is entitled to workers' compensation benefits. State and federal laws also protect all workers against discrimination in the workplace. And in California, employers cannot use the fact that a worker presented false papers to get a job as a way to excuse their violation of employment laws or to get out of their responsibilities if someone is injured at work.
I'm still worried about what happens if I complain about a violation. Can't my employer just use my status against me? Just call ICE or the police?
In California, employers are prohibited from contacting immigration authorities in retaliation against a worker for exercising his or her workplace rights. We cannot guarantee it won't happen, but it would be illegal for your employer to do this, and they could face significant fines and even a suspension of their license to do business. Whether to complain or bring a legal claim about a workplace violation is a decision that only you can make, and it is best to do so after consulting with an immigration attorney to see what possible consequences might occur in your individual situation. Here are the ways to bring different kinds of claims. First, regarding wage and hour issues. In California, you can file a claim with the state labor commissioner if you feel your rights were violated. The labor commissioner has offices across California. Second, if you feel your rights to have a safe and healthy workplace have been violated, there are both federal and state agencies, FedOSHA and CalOSHA, that investigate workplace health and safety for all workers. Third, any worker who has been discriminated against in the workplace can file claims either with California's Department of Fair Employment and Housing or the Federal Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. Fourth, if your employer violates your right to organize with coworkers, you may file a claim with the National Labor Relations Board. Fifth, if you are injured on the job, regardless of your immigration status, you may be entitled to receive workers' compensation benefits. Unfortunately, undocumented workers are not eligible for unemployment insurance benefits, even if they have lost their job through no fault of their own. Undocumented workers may, however, qualify for state disability insurance, a state program that allows you to receive some income if you can't work due to a temporary disability. As you can see, all workers, including immigrants, have significant rights in the workplace. We hope you will be in touch to learn more. Thank you for watching, and please contact us if you have any more questions.